This is episode 51 with Andreas Jones.
Welcome to Men of Abundance, the podcast for those looking to level up their lives by hanging out with some of the greatest leaders and established professionals in our community, living a life of integrity, honor, and the abundance mentality. Prepare to pay it forward with your host, former Army medic turned lifestyle entrepreneur, Wally Carmichael.
Hey, men of abundance. It is Aloha Friday once again, and you know how much I love this day. And of course, everybody loves Friday, but it's especially wonderful out here in Hawaii, especially this time of year because the weather is absolutely perfect. I love the holiday season. I know we're just getting started in November, but hey, I'm already playing Christmas music. I just love it. I could listen to Christmas music all year long. And it's funny because people always ask me, don't you miss the snow during the holidays and stuff like that? I grew up in Phoenix, Arizona. I never had snow for the holidays. And come to think of it, Jesus didn't have snow around Christmas either, but that's for a whole other conversation. Today, I have the honor of introducing you to yet another veteran and another entrepreneur who is doing amazing things. I'm going to talk about him and bring him out in just a second. But of course, before we do that, I want to make sure that you have an opportunity to be abundant in your life today and remind you to simply go to iTunes and subscribe to Men of Abundance. Leave us a rating and review. That really helps us out in moving up in the rankings so that more people can find us. And once you listen to this show, and if it's something that you resonate with and you absolutely love and you know somebody else is going to like it too, share this with your social media. Share this show, share Men of Abundance with everybody that you come in contact with. Doing those two things is by far the greatest honor that you could give me by leaving a rating and review and sharing Men of Abundance with other people. Now, our featured guest today is Andreas Jones. Andreas is the founder of Combat Business Coaching, #1 best-selling author of Business Leader Combat, business strategist, leadership consultant, Army combat veteran, columnist, and featured contributor at Forbes, the Huffington Post, lifehack.org, and bizcatalyst360.com. Andreas works with business owners and business leaders to help them build high-performing businesses so that they can have more profits, fans, and freedom, and grow their business without stress, overwhelm, and burnout in any economy. I mean, seriously, who wouldn't want that for their business, right? But of course, Andreas and I don't just talk business, because here on Men of Abundance, as you know, we like to get to know the man behind the greatness and the man behind the abundance. So Andreas definitely gets personal in this conversation. Andreas, welcome to Men of Abundance.
Hi, thank you for having me, Wally.
And it's my pleasure. I'm glad to get you on. But where are you at in the world?
I'm in Atlanta, Georgia.
Atlanta, Georgia. My son's down in Georgia. He's at Fort Stewart.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
It was military?
Military, Army, of course.
Yeah.
He works on satellite systems and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah.
Matter of fact, he's on the phone right now with my wife as we speak on, what is today, the 10th of August? Or, goodness, I am lost. The 10th of October. What month is it, man? So, but yeah, we're planning on him and his wife coming out here for the holidays. So we're looking forward to that. How long you been down there?
I've been in Atlanta since 2012.
I like Atlanta. When I was many years ago, I was stationed in El Paso, but I used to go to Atlanta quite often because I would always have to go visit our war trace units. I worked in a hospital. And in a military hospital, and anytime any of our doctors and medics and nurses and stuff deployed or went out on training, we had reserve units that would backfill us. So I always went to the reserve conference down in Atlanta. What a great place.
It is awesome. I love it. It's been great to me. I really love Atlanta.
Yeah, it's nice down there. So I like to start out each show the way I basically start out every morning, which is with an attitude of gratitude. What do you have to be grateful for today, Andres?
What I have to be grateful for today, I'll have to say my wife. She's just been amazing to me. I'm a man of many flaws, and for God to bless her with the grace to put up and deal with me and help me through some of my challenges challenges. It's been great to see from where we started from to where we're at this point.
Yeah, and isn't it great to have just an amazing woman by your side? I do too. It's just the most amazing thing, and commend you for praising her like that.
Oh, absolutely.
So before we got started, I basically gave a very brief bio, a very, very brief intro about who you are, because really, Men of Abundance, what we're all about is we want to get to know the man behind the greatness. We want to get to know the man behind the abundance and everything you're doing, and we'll get into all that stuff. But I'd like for you to introduce yourself and get a little bit personal.
Oh, absolutely. So as my bio said, my name is Andreas Jones. It's a quick backstory of my life and from where I started from to this point. So I was born in Jamaica. Jamaica is a small country in the Caribbean, population of about 2.6 million people, and with a poverty rate of about 85%. And so that's kind of the backdrop of my life. Being tested and challenged in that situation, being one of 6 boys. So just being in that environment has really prepared me to get to this point. I grew up with my parents. Both my parents were small business owners. Went to an all-boy high school, graduated high school, and migrated to the United States from Jamaica, and then went straight into the U.S. Army. Served 9 years in the Army, which was probably the best 9 years of my life. It was amazing. I was a Boy Scout, and so I was kind of used to outdoorsy military type stuff. And but my time in the military, it really prepared me for life in more ways than one.
Yeah, I found the same experience as well. And how long were you in the military?
9 years
Oh,
in
9
the
years.
Army.
Yeah, so you cut it off just before that 10-year mark, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
I was right there too. I was right at that 9-10 year mark, and I was spent. I was done. My wife and I had sat down, and at 7 years of marriage, we had realized we had literally been together, like physically together, less than 3 years because of all the deployments, schools, field exercises, and all that kind of stuff. Literally less than 3 years. So it was taking a toll on our family. So we ended up in a good location actually when we about that time frame, and kind of caught my second wind, so to speak. And then there it was 25 years later. Retired a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago now. Wow.
Oh, congrats. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a good ride. So what'd you do in the Army?
So I had 2 specialties. I was a military police and also supply chain specialist.
Yeah, and I'll tell you one thing I always say whenever I'm deployed is the 2 people that you need to really get to know very well are the MPs and the folks that run the dining facility.
Oh yeah, that's the best in deployment. You gotta make good friends with the food folks. So it makes deployment that much easier. Yeah,
Exactly.
Deployments that much easier.
Yeah. Before the internet, it used to be the mail handlers, but they just hardly exist anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now they got they got contracts with the U.S. Post Office in Afghanistan and all the good stuff. So it's like a full-fledged mail-in operation over there now.
Yeah, exactly. You're the second person that I've talked to so far that's from Jamaica, and he had an amazing background as well. John Cornelius McCaskill is his name. He was episode 14. And I'm telling you, he didn't have entrepreneur background like your parents did, like you mentioned, but they truly support his entrepreneurial endeavors, which is really, really cool. And I found that to be true from many people that are from that part of the world. Do you think there's any specific reason for that?
I think the overarching reason is because of the poverty rate. There's not much opportunities for like corporate cultures and stuff like that. So you kind of have to blaze your own trail, and you're kind of forced into becoming creative and trying to make money when you're looking at a country of 2.6 million people, which is about an average American city, with an 85% poverty rate. You can just imagine how the opportunities are scarce, and even the professional jobs, the teachers, the policemen, firemen, those are great jobs, but the pay, it doesn't provide for a sustainable lifestyle
Right.
for your family. So you almost have to get creative in figuring out a way how to generate income, how to survive and take care of your family. And so that entrepreneurial spirit is kind of forced out of you, whether you like it or not, because you're just in that tough spot where you have to either make a decision to fold or to keep fighting.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense for sure because with immigrants in general, I mean, with people, and we use this term immigrants as being thrown around so frequently, it's just crazy. All of the United States is immigrants, and here we are today, we're speaking on Columbus Day, which I have my own opinion about that, and that's for a different show.
Yeah, don't get me started.
I'm sure we can have a great conversation about that, and we will at some point for sure. I'm absolutely sure of it. But we're all immigrants. Everybody in this United States, North America, is immigrants, other than the natives who are already here. And for people that are coming over, they're running from, not necessarily running, they're just trying to go towards something that's a better opportunity that will allow them to build a better family, a better lifestyle for their family, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So, along the way, I know anybody that I talk to, either on Men of Abundance or off, and anybody who's moving forward, doing anything in life, bettering themselves, bettering other people, bettering their community, there's some kick in the gut moments. And this is part of the way that on Men of Abundance, I like to get to know the person behind the greatness and the person behind the abundance, is to get to know that kick in the gut moment. And I'd love to hear that story, and then we'll go into basically a pivot point and how you recovered from that.
Oh, absolutely. So I'll say the kick in the gut moment for me was 9 months into starting my business. I had this great plan, excitement, and 9 months into my business, I realized that I only had one client in 9 months. I was like, wow, did I make a mistake? Then you get in that dilemma of should I, just go back into the corporate world? Should I go back into the military? I've spent all this money. I've made a mistake. It was just a period of beating myself up mentally and emotionally. It started taking a toll, not only on me, but on my marriage. And then in that same breath, my wife was pregnant with our first child, and so in that 9 months, I was just going. It was tough, and so it was about Thanksgiving. We got a call from the doctors to go in to the hospital, and we spent Thanksgiving in the hospital. My wife had lost a baby, and it was just a tough time. But kind of the backstory leading up to that point of me 9 months in was I recognized that I was missing something. I wasn't doing something right. So I tried reaching out to this guy that I researched, and I thought maybe if I could get some time with him, he could help me, mentor me. From the military, he had a military background also, and I know how we take care of each other in the military. And so I reached out to him about 8 times before I got a response. And then once I got a response, it was in that same time period. He called about 2 days before Thanksgiving, asking me how's everything going. I was explaining to him my situation, and we kind of got off the phone at that point. And he said he'll get in touch with me. He'll think about what he can do to work with me and help me. And so Thanksgiving, spent the day in the hospital. Thanksgiving, my wife losing her baby. And then Black Friday, he called me and asked me if I'm ready to work with him. And I explained to him my situation, that it's just not a good time for me at this point. There's just a lot going on. And he challenged me. He said, if it's your dream, and I know it's a real tough time for you right now, but if it's your dream, why would you wait one more day to pursue it? And in that moment, I had to make a decision. I could use the crutch of my wife and our tough time losing our baby as an excuse, as a way out of fighting on, or I could put it all aside, dig deep inside, and figure a way out of this muck and this rut that I was in. And so I told him yes, I'll work with him. I did not have all the money to work with him, and so I used about 4 different credit cards and debit cards to pay for his services. And all of this while I couldn't tell my wife, because she was torn up emotional about the whole situation. So I couldn't tell her that, hey babe, I'm about to use 4 cards to pay for the service. It was kind of just a real tough spot and a real tough decision. And in making that decision, it totally turned everything around for me, personally, mentally, emotionally. My business turned around in that one moment, in that one decision point, where I had to make that decision of go forward or use a really, really, really good excuse that I had that is valid and anyone could understand. But just reflecting on it at this point, it was that test of everything that I've learned in the military. That we fight down to the last bullet. If we run out of bullets, we go to bayonets, and we just keep fighting until the last breath. And that's kind of that mentality I kind of took on in that moment to say, okay, I really want this business to work because this business is bigger than me. I'm doing it so I can make a better better life for my family and myself, and I'm doing it so I could, free up some time to be able to spend with my wife and be there for her the way she has been there for me throughout my time in the military and everything else that we have been through. And so that was just a real kick in the gut moment for me in making that decision.
Andreas, that is definitely a serious kick in the gut moment, and I can completely relate with just about everything you just said. I've been through that myself. So much to learn from that. My goodness. Where do I start? Just being able to make that decision. Men of Abundance, you listen to this story and you just got to understand that the timing to do what you want to do for yourself and your family, your community, or whatever it is never going to be perfect. It's never going to be right. In fact, it's probably going to be the time when you're in a situation, such a kick in the gut moment that Andreas just explained in his story. It's going to be like that. It's going to be that point in time. Most of the people that I personally talk to that do amazing things, from nothing to just, amazing, and it takes time. It's not overnight. But most of them were really kicked when they were kicked in the gut and then kicked lower, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And then that's when they made that pivot point. That's when they made that decision. That's when they said, enough is enough. I can't do this anymore. I have to make this decision. I have to take action. I have to do what I have to do. So,
thought I was just wasting my time. I thought I made a mistake. Mm-hmm. And I was like, this is working for other people. Other people are being successful and doing great things. I am capable of doing this. I've been through worse times. I've survived the military, survived deployment in Afghanistan. Why can't I figure this out? Mm-hmm. And I decided that I was not going to walk away from it. I won't accept defeat, as that's drilled in our heads from day one in boot camp. Mm-hmm. I will not accept defeat. Right. And so that's why I said that the military prepared me for life in more ways than one, in more ways than I can count. Just being able to draw from that experience of military from day one to the day I got out, I have a reference point literally for almost any life situation that I face at this point, where I can say, okay, I overcame that before. Pull from that place, go from that place, get in that mindset again of fighting through it. And I'm just forever grateful to the U.S. Army for the lessons and for preparing me for life in so many ways.
So what do you feel made the difference? What did this mentor or coach, what did this program do for you?
Well, the first thing he did for me was He said, picture your life as a blank canvas. We're all born, and all your beliefs, everything, almost everything you know, someone told you or someone put on the canvas for you. So your beliefs, your most of everyone, their political, their cultural, it's all instilled into them. It's all taught to them and put on their life and say, this is where life should be, and this is where you should live it. In some cultures, you have to marry in this culture. You have to marry this girl. You can't marry outside, and all different things are put on your canvas. And there comes a point in your life when you have to say, okay, I'm going to create a masterpiece of my life for myself. And you have an opportunity at any given moment to say, I'm going to start on a blank canvas. I'm going to put what I want on it. I'm going to put the life I want. I'm going to put the home I want. I'm going to put the finances I want. I'm going to put the relationships that I want. I'm going to put the time off and everything that I want. I'm going to put on this canvas because it's my masterpiece. It's my life. And he really taught me how to really get out of the I'm not good enough mindset, I would say, because I used to doubt myself a lot that maybe this is not for me. Maybe I'm not qualified enough. Maybe, no one wants to hear me. I'm just a little kid from Jamaica anyway. I'm in this big place of the United States. Maybe this is not for me. And I really had to reframe my life and really see the possibility of me creating and living life on my own terms and calling the shots and doing what I want to do on my terms, and also being a man that my wife and my kids could be proud of.
So it sounds like you already had the skills to do what you were wanting to do, but it was more of a mindset. So basically you're realizing that the program that you went through and what you paid for, it was primarily changing your mindset and changing your paradigm, correct?
Yes. So yeah, as I said, because of my background in Jamaica, I kind of had those experiences, whether I wanted it or not. I worked in my parents' businesses growing up for summer jobs, and so I've been around business, been in business all my life, and I had those very great experience and lessons I've learned in the military. So I wasn't completely foreign to what I was doing. I just couldn't put the pieces together in the right order. Sometimes you could have for the most part you have the answers, but it's just getting them in the right order.
Correct. And that's exactly the point I'm getting to, because you also said other people are doing this. Why can't I? Because I have the same knowledge, I have the same skills, but it all went back on mindset. And this is one thing that I have conversations with men all the time, is you have the skills, you know what to do, you know how to do it. We just got to work on your mindset. We got to make you realize that you have what other people want, or whatever the case may be, that you can do this. Mindset is some sort of mumbo jumbo that some people throw out there and they twist it in other ways in one way or another. But I'm here to tell you, when it comes down to it, two men with the same exact skills, the one with the positive mindset and the can-do attitude, and then the one that takes action on that, is going to be the one that wins. Because I've seen this time and time again throughout my life. Action being taken. No matter what it is, you put it in any scenario, internet marketing, a brick and mortar business, so on and so forth. It's always about the mindset. The same action can be taken, but if the mindset is different, the one with the right mindset is going to win every time. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, that's absolutely spot on. I don't know if I could put it any better, because and as you said, there's a lot of mumbo jumbo out there around mindset and everything surrounding mindset, but it's absolutely important. And I can challenge anyone any day to, if you ask any 10 successful people you can think of, it doesn't have to be a Bill Gates level, but any person who you think is relatively successful, you can ask them, and it's almost going to come down to, man, I had to I made up my mind. I had to believe that I could do it, and I had to really fight through fight through getting up every morning and say, okay, I'm gonna do this no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
When you think about it, it's a reason why only 3 out of 10 people make it through, Navy SEAL training and special operations. I mean, any one of them at any time could go and ring that bell, and there's no shame in it. But it's the guys who get up and say, okay, I don't care, I haven't slept in God knows how many days, but I still got to push my body. I still got it's all in your mind that's allowing you to make that next step. And it all comes down to mindset, no matter what facet you want to take it, personal, professional, brick and mortar, network marketing, whatever you want to put it to, it starts and ends with your mindset.
Absolutely correct. So let's talk about that. What combat business coaching? What is that? How'd that get started, and what are you doing for people?
Yeah, so combat business coaching is just me putting my military experience and my relative business experience, morphing it into something that represented me. And the whole combat business coaching concept is surrounded by a 7-step system that I created. So the first step is literally figuring out exactly where you are at this point. Before we can do anything else, we got to figure out where you are. We got to figure out, what your finances looking like. If a growth opportunity presents itself, are you ready for it? Can your business take on an additional 100 customers? All of those need to be assessed. And then once we get out of our assessment and got our benchmark, then we go into mindset. Mindset, start thinking about how do we think about this? How do we approach this? And from mindset, we go into your marketing. What's your marketing collateral? How are we going to approach marketing creatively without breaking the bank? And then from that, we go into your business model. What does your business model support? Does your business model support adding another service, adding another product? Does it support adding more players on your team? And then from that, we go into leverage. How do we leverage time? Everyone gets 24 hours in a day. You have to leverage that in the best way possible. And then we go into systems. Okay, now you have all these pieces that you have to put together, and it's a system that you have to bring a system. And the hallmark of any system is it has to do these 4 things at all times. It has to bring something into alignment. It has to enable either the person or systems. It has to operate. That means it has to work when you put into action, and it has to be able to endure people taking time off, or endure something catastrophic happening. And that's the four hallmarks of a great business system that I've discovered over the years. And then finally, we go into strategic partnerships, which is, I think, one of the most important things I could teach any business owner is strategic partnerships. And one thing I always bring it back to, I tell them about the U.S. military. U.S. military, we're the best trained, most well-equipped military in the world. But we have never fought any war by ourselves. We always had strategic partners, whether, it being, you have the organizations like NATO, UN, and all that other stuff. We don't do it by ourselves because we don't have even though we are the most trained and well equipped, we don't have the resources to do it all by ourselves. We can do it for a short burst, but then, when you start adding casualties and equipment failures and all that stuff start happening, then you're quickly depleted when you start doing it all by yourself. And so I teach a strategic partnership is really important in any business situation. It doesn't have to be a financial partnership per se, but you have to figure out a way how to partner with people that is going to help propel you to the next level. Partner with people who are going to put you in the right space, in front of the right people, and then you have to take the next step and actually do the work and deliver the results.
I really like that last one, the partnership and the collaboration. How does that look in real life? Can you give me, you don't have to use like names of any companies or anything, but can you give me an example of how that would look in collaboration?
Okay, so perfect example is I had a client, a chiropractor. He was trying to get more people in the door, get more consultations going. And, we sat down and said, okay, this is what you have at this point. Who else might have these people that might need their back, lined or cracked or whatever they need? And we figured out, oh, hey, maybe a massage therapist. Most of you go to massage because they have a little neck in their back or whatnot. What if we could partner or collaborate with a massage therapist between both of you guys? So as part of his free consultation offer, the prospects get a 15 to 30-minute massage over here at this massage therapist, and then if they like it, they could sign up long term for more massage and services, and vice versa. If she part of her consultation is you get a massage, you get a 30-minute consultation over here to check your back, make sure everything is okay, and they're exchanging that equally, and there's no additional dollars spent on marketing or anything else. It's just a really strategic partnership that works out great for both parties.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love it. That's a great way to do business, and I'm sure that can translate in many different industries across the board.
Absolutely.
Very cool. So, Andreas, at this point, we are going to pay it forward to Men of Abundance. You ready to do that?
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. Hey, Abundant Leaders, I want to help you connect with your customers, your clients, and help you get your message out to the world. You can reach and connect with your ideal customer by being a guest on multiple podcasts that are specific to your niche. Now, I know many of you have amazing stories, amazing products, services, whatever it may be, but some of you either don't want to sell, you don't want to come off as a salesperson, or you simply don't know how to reach those people that are looking for what you have to offer. All you have to do is tell your story. But where do you tell your story? On a podcast. And I'm going to connect you with a team of people who are going to help you do just that. They're going to find podcasts that fit your specific niche. They will coach you on what to do before the podcast, during the podcast, and after the podcast. They're even going to set up the show art, and they're going to send it out on social media on your behalf. They're going to take care of everything for you. And you're going to get exposure to hundreds of thousands of people in your niche looking for you. The name of the team I'm going to connect you with is Tom Schwab over at Interview Valet. Go to the show notes of this show, scroll all the way down to the bottom where it says resources, and you're going to see Interview Valet. Click on that link and see what Tom has to offer for you so that you can finally get your message out to the right people and stop wasting time and money. Now, I was already very impressed with Interview Valet because they have sent me guests and I have been sharing their links, so they have graciously asked me to be an affiliate with Interview Valet. What that does for Men of Abundance is that keeps the mic on. So when you use their service, we keep the mic on. If you're finally ready to connect with your perfect customer, go to menofabundance.com and either click on the show notes of this show or go to the resources page and click on that link in Interview Valet. Now let's get back to the show. So give Men of Abundance 1 to 3 actionable steps that they can take today.
1 to 3 actionable steps you can take today. Write down your goals. Figure out one thing you can do to move your goal forward, no matter how small. And third, reach out to someone who can connect you to someone else.
Excellent action steps. I love that. What daily habits make up the biggest impact in your life?
I have to say the biggest daily habits I do at this point is journaling. At first, I didn't like it, but then it's become like more of a therapeutic type of thing for me at this point. I get up and journal for 10-15 minutes in the morning, kind of plan out my day ahead, kind of just being grateful for life and for all the lessons and everything that I've been through to this point. And so journaling is a big part of my life and what I do every day.
Very cool. What book would you recommend to our abundant leaders and why?
What book? I would say The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. And it just, in simple terms, it just teaches you, you have a big goal and you just take small actionable steps every day, no matter how small, and over time you will have done enough small steps that will build up the momentum to take you to your big goal.
Yeah, Compound Effect is definitely a very good book, one to certainly get started with. If you're on any sort of journey of self-development, personal development, Compound Effect is paramount. I mean, it's definitely one of the top 3 to 5 books you should be reading right away. And I will have that book listed with a link to it in the show notes of this show at menofabundance.com. Just search Andreas in the search bar, and this episode will pop right up, and you can go through there. And the cool thing about the show notes is there are timestamps in the show notes. So if there's any part of this conversation that you want to time travel to, you can just click on that time and it'll take you right there within the show, and you can get, that way you don't have to scroll back and forth and try to find it. It'll go right to that point of interest. It's really cool. So I got one last question for you, Andreas, and that is, what does living a life of abundance mean to you?
All right, living a life of abundance means that I have harmony in my marriage, in my finances, and in my work. So I'm not of the school of thought of work-life balance. I'm more work-life harmony, because at any given time, something's going to have your focus that's going to be out of whack. But there's the ability to harmonize that, like an orchestra does. Sometimes you're going to have, more drums or more piano, but at the end goal is creating a beautiful sound, no matter which instrument has a dominating presence at that moment in time. And so I really strive for work-life harmony.
I have never heard that analogy like that before. I absolutely love it. I will probably be using it later. I'll give you credit for it once or twice, and then it's mine, all right?
Okay.
No, really, that's awesome. I love it. All right, man. So I appreciate your time. We're going to close this up. But before we do, I'd love for you to leave us with a parting piece of guidance and any way that we can get in touch with you and find out more about what you have to offer the community.
Absolutely. So my parting piece of guidance is to the men is, as I said earlier in the show, if it is your dream, why would you wait one more day to pursue it? Fight for your dream. Don't give up on it. If you really want to make a dent, if you really want to leave a legacy that your family could be proud of, you have to fight for your dream, because it's not only about you. If you have a family, you should know how important it is, for you to leave a legacy a family could be proud of, and be someone your wife and your kids can be absolutely proud of at any given moment. And the best way to get in contact with me is at my website, combatbusinesscoaching.com. And there's all my contact information there, social media profiles, and all that good stuff is there.
Perfect. And I'll have that link in the show notes as well. Men of Abundance, take his advice. Do not wait another day. Don't wait another minute. Give somebody a call. Somebody can show you how to do what you want to do. There's always a way. So if you need any of the services that Andreas just mentioned in combat business coaching, absolutely get in contact with him. See what he's got to offer. See what he's got. Because there are so many programs out there for coaching and mentorship, but it's all about connecting with the person that you resonate with most. And Andreas just put himself out there on this show. He shared his kick in the gut moment. He was very real with us. He communicated with you. And I believe he might be the man that you've been looking for to help you finally get started and get to that next level in your business or whatever else you have going on. So Andreas, I truly appreciate your time, man. And I appreciate everything that you're doing for the community and for people in general.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much, Wally. It's been great.
Awesome. You're definitely an abundant leader, and it's proud to have you on the show, man.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
All right. Have a good day. All right, abundant leaders, that is our conversation for today. But before I let you go, I want to let you know that when you go to menofabundance.com/051 or any of the podcast episodes at menofabundance.com, you're going to find a little subscribe button. You can subscribe to my newsletter there, but the cool thing about that is I'm going to be sharing with you exclusive messages from a few of our guests that are going to give messages directly to you, the subscribers of Men of Abundance. Now, you already get very amazing and valuable information from the podcast itself. But for those of you who want just a little bit more personal message, as well as a message once a week from me that's going to highlight any number of very abundant projects, abundant leaders, and I'm even going to be sharing some crazy, quirky, silly information about me that's actually kind of embarrassing. I'll be sharing that once a week, and you can laugh at my expense. So if you think you'll find value, or at least some humor in that, go ahead and subscribe under any one of the podcast episodes. Now go out and live your life of abundance, and make sure to pay it forward.
That's all for today, Abundance Leaders. For more about our guests and the powerful information we shared with you today, be sure to sign up for our mailing list at menofabundance.com. We appreciate your time and look forward to hanging out with you on our next episode. So until then, be sure to pay it forward and live your life of abundance.